खुद को खुद से मुझको मिलाने दे.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you
Me.
so much. So yeah, tell us something about yourself and of course the homestay.
So about myself, I'm from Pune. So I'm a musician, and then I run One Earth, and then on the side I do a little bit of social media and stuff like that. So still very figuring out life and still at that stage.
So tell us about how the whole, you said it was a family business that you are at PR side of it. So how did the whole concept of One Earth came about?
So it's a long story, and let me just start from. You guys have the time, right?
Yes.
It's a long one. Okay, so we actually never planned to start One Earth this way, as in like as a homestay, because my uncle's vision was to create an eco-sustainable village where like-minded people come together. They all come for the passionate cause that is living a sustainable future for a cleaner, greener, more happier life. So anyway, to pull off something I think as massive as this, as a project like this, you need a lot of money. You need the right kind of people around you. So, and obviously us, we're a small family. We don't have any big backing or anything like that actually. So this project was getting very stressful and emotional for the family, because when you have a dream and you don't see it going through, your purpose in life kind of gets defeated. And I remember this one morning we were having this conversation, and I, at the time, I think I was a little young. This was maybe 2-3 years ago. I said, I really can't help you financially, but if there's anything else that I can do, I am going to do it, because I want to see this go through. So my boyfriend, he is a designer. So he's like, what, we have this house at One Earth. It was our family bungalow. We used to go for vacations and like short getaways over there. So he said, the bungalow is beautiful. I can design a logo for you. Let's just start, kaise bhi karke, let's just start. So we didn't even register the name, nothing. We started an Instagram page. Then we borrowed some money from our family members to buy linens, to buy crockery, because at the time, all this was quite a big investment. So we borrowed some money and we started and we waited. And because I know how to make videos, I did a course in media. So I was quite okay with Instagram myself, and we pushed it on Instagram, and slowly and steadily, it just built, and here we are. Still quite surprised, because after nearly, my uncle worked on this for about 9 years, and not suddenly, with a lot of hard work, we saw things picking up. So it was like, finally. So that was like very great feeling. It's given us all identity and purpose, because we're associated with this family owned business, and so many people have loved this place, and we've made such great connections. So it really feels good to be part of something so nice.
Yeah, definitely. And were you inspired by any other cafes or homestays that you may have visited before you started it? Or
No, we weren't inspired by anybody. We just started with absolutely no knowledge of anything. So we just went on the way. I think for the bigger picture, my uncle Hassan, he's probably inspired by so many great architects and stuff. But for this homestay, no, we weren't inspired. We just started, and we learned along the way, and we're still learning.
Okay. So when did you plan to kind of give it a name? When did you start the Instagram page? Like what was the timeline like?
So the name One Earth, Hassan already had it in mind, but we weren't sure if there were other companies with the same name. There's one in Pune as well, but we were just like, you know what, screw it. We like the name. We're gonna go ahead with it. And within a matter of 7 days, my boyfriend designed the logo. It was one of those free logos. We actually have a free vector logo. So there's not, so, it was very like, we just hustled our way through, to be very honest. And within 6 days, we had an Instagram page, and I made these small video snippets of the place during monsoon. The main attraction, why we started at the right time. So we started during monsoon, where the place is just like heaven. So we started at the right, took about 6 days to start the Instagram page, get the content flowing. And yeah, that was the timeline, but we never really had a business plan or what we're going to do next, which may not be the right thing, but it kind of worked out.
So, like, I mean, in terms of, like, you've already mentioned quite a bit of challenges that, that came their way and everything. So, but as somebody who's involved in the whole business now, what were the personal challenges that you, like, if somebody asks you, what were the major challenges that you as an individual faced? What would it be? The mix. So, how did that?
So first off, we had absolutely no idea what we were doing, but because yeah, I love people, and I connect with everybody and anybody, so they kind of like put me in the front, to handle people and stuff. But what happens is, when you're talking to so many people on a daily basis, and you're interacting with so many people, you obviously come across good people, and you come across not so good people. So as because all that was new for me, dealing with the not so good side of people, kind of like you they say not to take it personally in business, but you do. It hurts when a client is unhappy, or when you make mistakes and stuff like that. So this is one very big thing I faced, was dealing with people and their emotions, and my shortcomings. As a I honestly didn't know what I was doing. I was just being myself, being nice. And after a certain point, it does become very mechanical and mentally exhausting. So we hope to now put my load onto a website. But then always, sorry if I'm derailing, but at this we had this thing that if we remove the human connection from our bookings and we made it all technical, would it still have charm to it? But it does get very mentally exhausting, that sometimes you just don't want to answer the phone, or you've just had calls morning till evening, and it's just like
The day.
yeah. So that was one. Then the second one was obviously, I think the biggest one would be financial problems, because to run a homestay, you need a lot of cash, man, for different things. And the ceiling has a hole, there's water coming through, you need cash for that. You need to buy new things, you need cash for that. You need cash, you just need a lot of cash.
But
Yeah.
how was COVID for you? How did COVID affect the homestay? And how
So COVID, well, it was quite an upsetting, because as we started to pick up, COVID came, and we obviously couldn't have any bookings through a lockdown. So that was a good resting period for me, but not so much for the business. We had a lot of refunds to make for the clients that had booked. So that was also quite stressful. and we just had to make everybody wait, because we ourselves were suffering.
Yeah.
But when the lockdown started to lift, and the rules were getting a little more easy, that's when I think we had the best response. We had the best response, and because people were so fed up of sitting at home, they were just losing it. They just wanted to come out. And because our place was it had a lot of fresh air, we have less capacity. We can only have about 10 to 16 people, and we never allowed 16. We had 10 people, so people were very comfortable coming to us. We had limited staff, less capacity. The rooms are spaced out. There's a lot of fresh air. So that's when things really like blew up. And we had never experienced anything like that before. So that was a stressful period, and a very difficult period as a business.
It's like a blessing in disguise then.
Yeah, so actually, like, thank you. I mean, I really feel bad for the negative effects of COVID, but there were also some positive ones for us.
Yeah.
As a we had a lot of people coming in, and it just like blew up.
Yeah, sure. I think COVID has had very different types of impacts on people. For some, it's been like a really good needed break. For some, it's been exhausting to, sit at home.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's a journey in itself, the whole experience of COVID.
I think even in one of our recent interviews, somebody told us about like their cafe. There wasn't a homestay, and they said the same thing, that people after COVID, when they started coming, they had such extreme reactions and emotions. Like some were very calm, but some were like they burst out, and everything was just coming out. So I think that's something we've really noticed in the conversations that we've had over this period. That these are the very similar things, be it in any part of India or the world. I think that's something very similar that's coming out. Very interesting.
I had clients call me and tell me, this is the first time I'm coming out in 6 months. I'm really excited. And because I think we used to take going out and breathing fresh air for granted. So I had a lot of positive response, and people were really, really excited to come out.
Yeah, very interesting. So, like we read in the little bio you sent us about One Earth. So in that you talk about the whole idea and the vision of an eco village. So can you tell us something about that?
So the eco village is what, like I said, the first vision that we had in mind to use the laws of permaculture and create like we have a very big property, so we can we wanted to do things like farming, housing, sustainable farming, sustainable housing, an artist residence, tree houses. We wanted to have our own water system, everything in one place, with like-minded people. Obviously, if somebody wanted to be a part of One Earth, they can't just buy a plot and create their own thing. It has to be it has to be in harmony with nature. And you would obviously have to have the same vision as the rest of the people living in the village. So it would be like a nice self-sustained village where you eat your own produce. You have a school in there, you have a green school in there, you have your community center, you have your community eating. So that is the big
dream.
Big dream. Already see it going somewhere.
I think I'm going to be the first one to come and enroll myself and leave life. So the current sustainable measures, like you talk about sustainability as a big part of One Earth. So what are the current sustainable measures that you're taking?
So we actually have a lot in mind that we want to implement, but once we grow bigger financially, because all this needs a little bit of investment first, and then it begins to self-sustain. So for now, what we are doing is we actually have we have 3 massive dams in our property. So the entire monsoon season, uh, I think it's about 4 to 5 months. We have maybe 6 months as well. We have water coming from the rain into our taps, into our showers. So we are using that water, which is extremely mineral rich. It is not dead. You know, when you drink it, you feel like, ooh, you feel the difference.
Yeah.
So we have water from our own property. Then have the water for the plants from our own property. We actually discourage the use of toiletries. We do not provide those one-time use.
Yes.
We're actually going to start helping small businesses to sell their organic soaps, lotions and stuff. And we've also created like a model where we can melt the soaps again, reuse them, you know, hygienically, of course. And then what else? We have a lot of we've created a lot of ponds in our on our property, which you know, keeps temperature down. It provides water for the insects and birds and animals around. Uh, so these are a couple of things that we do. We also have our own, we have our own little farming section organically. We do not use any pesticides on our plants. Hassan has quite a lot of knowledge about how to make organic pesticides. No, herbicides. Sorry. So, yeah. So these are some of the things we're doing. Hopefully, in the future, you know, we can have our solar panels. We can have other renewable forms of energy, maybe electricity from our dams and stuff
It's a
like
little
that.
mini world in itself.
Yeah.
I think once
Yes,
you go there, you don't have to think about any part of the world and just be there and live it.
absolutely. Yes,
Imagine the
that's the
ponds and the dams and the farming and everything going in my head.
yeah.
Idea
So it's
sounds
definitely a
great.
place that I would want to bring my children up if all goes well and we're able to create a community with like-minded people. So that really be nice in this time and age where there's so much pollution around us. There's so much adulteration
Yeah.
and talk and that we don't want to be exposed to, but they're in our environment, unfortunately.
The whole concept is like a step towards healing.
Exactly, step towards being yourself and to give back to Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Everyone that we've been talking to have that one element of keeping roots in a very, very solid format, which is incredible. And in your sense, I think it's the biggest because that's a huge responsibility. So really, really proud of what you're doing.
Well, I think it's all him, you know, because he's the one over there dealing with people daily. I'm just trying to help as much as I can from being in the city.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just the right people at the right time, and family supporting you in whatever little way they can. It will always make a big, big difference.
You know, the whole idea of it, for us to even think about it and, you know, to have this conversation to people like us who are on the outside and who have not witnessed that space, I think it's so important for that. That's actually one reason we are doing this, so that people understand what is the reason why a particular space has been set up for people to go and escape the monotony of life. So I think, you know, that's very important. And you also mentioned that you know, you are looking into have like artist residence and like different kind of people who come and stay in. So do you experience a lot of artist engagement, or is it very low?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think we have so many, and I'm so happy to have uh, made connections with these people. We've had painters, we've had architects, we've had singers, we've had Kathak dancers, Bharatnatyam dancers, classical vocalists, pop singers, um, uh, wo- treehouse sculpturists. We've had like a mind-blowing you know, exposure to these artists. And I'm
Wow.
so, the best part about, you know, running this place is you get to meet such incredible people, and they're so humble, all of them. So we've had great experiences with artists, and they 100% love the place.
Thank you so much, Anusha. I mean, it's been a pleasure talking to you because it's such a different perspective. And for now, we've been mostly engaged with cafes and homestays in the Himachal side. So having somebody from Maharashtra is and like, it's it's different and same in so many different ways. So I think that's the beauty of it. And we hope your vision, your uncle's vision, your family's vision, just goes a long, long way, and we can support in every way that we can.
Thank you so much for having me, doing
Thank
us. I wish you guys the best. I love what y'all are doing. And as from one artist to another, I wish I could shake your hand through the camera. Let's do a little handshake. Would be- So wish you guys the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And
Have a great day.
thank you.
All the
Bye-bye.
best. Bye.